uh, uh, one of the deep-rooted philosophy in the hearts of people in general, which does not allow them to come to Krishna, and that is Karma Mimamsa philosophy. Karma Mimamsa. This is a school of philosophy which is a atheistic philosophy, which doesn't bring you to Krishna, and that is called Karma Mimamsa. Right? So we'll speak about that, and you will relate with what I'm saying.
Prabhu, is it like Karm Karte Jo, that
Ah,
philosophy?
yes,
Work is worship.
yes. We go to text number 20,
9.20.
9.20. We will go to 25 and then we will speak. त्रैवेद्यमा त्रैवेद्यमां सोमपापूतपापा यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासाद्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नन्ति दिव्यान् दिवि देव भोगान् पढ़ो।
Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planets of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights.
ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालम् क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्मम् अनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं काम लभन्ते yes.
When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death.
अनन्यश्चिन्तयन्तो माम् ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहामि अहम्
But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditation on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्
Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेन तश्च वन्ति ते
I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature falls down.
यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रता भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम् Yes, Bhavini Mataji.
Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me.
पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं
Patram pushpam phalam
यो मे
toyam.
भक्त्या प्रयच्छति
Yo me bhaktya prachayati.
तदहं भक्ति उपहरतं
Tadaham bhakti uparatam.
अश्नामि प्रयतात्मना.
Ashrami prayatamanah.
Yes, Utkarsh.
Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. If one offers me with loving devotionally a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
यत्करोषि यतश्नासि
Yad karoshi yad nasi.
यज्जुहोषि ददासि
Yajuhosi dadasi.
तपस्यसि कौन्तेय
Yad tapasyasi kaunteya.
तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम्.
Tat purushva matarpanam.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So in Sri Vrindavan Dham, once Krishna just gets up in the morning and he sees all the Brajvasis are very busy. They are all making preparation for a Vedic sacrifice. Right? So Krishna, young boy, very little, comes to Nanda Baba. He says, Baba, Baba, what is happening? And Nanda Baba does not say anything. Why? Because if you say something, he will ask
More questions.
something more, something more. So then he will not be able to do justice to the sacrifice he's organizing with everyone. And then he says, Baba, why are you not telling? You should not hide things with your family members. You should always share. Then Nanda Maharaj says, okay Kanha, actually we are organizing Indra Puja. Indra Yajna is going on. Baba, why are we offering to Indra? He says, Kana, actually we are Gopals, we are Vaishyas, so we're dependent on the cows. And cows need grass. And where does the grass come from?
Govardhan.
No, from the rains. And you do rains. So when we perform yajna and offer the oblations to Indra, Indra mercifully sends the rains. So rains bring grains. Grains are eaten by cow, and cow gives milk. And milk, ghee, butter, yogurt is our business. So we should offer gratitude. So we should worship Indra. And Krishna understood that Indra has become very puffed up. Obviously, imagine you have influence of the three worlds. आपके कहने पे कुछ भी होता है तो नशा चढ़ने में टाइम बिल्कुल नहीं लगता. But still Indra is a person of that character कि कभी कभी नशा चढ़ता है. So Krishna says, oh Baba, why are you offering worship to Indra? We are doing our karma. We are all doing our duty of doing the Vaishya work. So we are obliged, if we do our karma and offer our service, we are obliged to get rains. Because we are doing our duty rightfully. It is not the credit of Indra. If we do our duty and perform our sacrifice, Indra is
Bound to give.
bound to give. Right? So why do we need to worship Indra specifically? Just do our duty of karma properly. So Krishna speaks to Nanda a atheistic philosophy, which is called as Karma Mimamsa philosophy. What is it called as?
Karma Mimamsa philosophy.
Karma Mimamsa philosophy, which means you follow the Vedas, you do sacrifices, but that is only your prescribed duty. And if you do your prescribed duty, the result has to come. So by my sincere, diligent work and Vedic following, I have to get my result. Right? तो आप अपना कर्म करो अच्छी तरह, किसी का बुरा मत करो, और जो रिचुअल्स आप करते हैं वेदों के आधार पे वेदवाद रथ, जो वेद कह रहे हैं ये करो वो करो, उधर दक्षिणा दो, इधर पूजा करो, ये यज्ञ करो वो यज्ञ करो, देवता लोग विवश हैं आपको फल देने के लिए, because I am doing my work diligently
They have been assigned to
and they have been assigned to give. So what's the big thing? Yes, we should say thank you. But what is the most important thing?
performance.
My karma. Karmavad. I work very hard. I work very sincerely. I work very seriously. कर्म ही मेरी पूजा है. तो फिर भगवान से क्या फितरत है मेरी? If I do my work, I am supposed to get. And what to say of that? Arey, I only take care of all the worship happening in all places also. A portion I give also. I am religious also. So he's not only not God conscious, but he also feels he's the maintainer of all the aspects of God also. And Prabhupada says that this is 99.99% of civilization who are religious, right? Who would only discern कि मेरा कर्म ही
मेरी पूजा है.
मेरी पूजा है, मुझे इसके अलावा किसी को प्रणाम करने की जरूरत नहीं, किसी को कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं, और जो नवरात्र आया तब किया, यहाँ किया वहाँ किया, सब किया, सबको अपना अपना जो भी हफ्ता दे दिया हफ्ता भी दे दिया और हफ्ता भी दे दिया करना पड़ेगा
This
करना
Hafta word
पड़ेगा.
is applicable in Mumbai.
ये हफ्ता मीन्स 1 week also.
ये हफ्ता
मैंने
word-
हफ्ता अर्थ देते थे.
एक्चुअली एक हफ्ता भी दे दिया और हफ्ता भी दे दिया.
यहाँ प्रभु जी हम लोग जीटी बोलते थे, अब बंद हुआ है आके.
ऐसे क्या?
व्हाट इज जीटी? बोला गुंडा टैक्स.
So he said, I did my karma, I paid my taxes, I paid my local taxes, I paid my the heavy taxes, and now I can have all my program. So where is God required? You know, one time I was speaking at one gathering, I gave a full class on the first chapter of Gita, and after that I said, you know, okay, God is taking care of all of us, so let him leave us now. Why should he bother us? He's taking care, very good, he's taking care of all of us. So let us have our program in this life. Why should we bother? Right? So I said, yes, you are very right. Just like your children. They want to have their plan and they don't want you to bother. And you're okay, right? He said, no. I'm not okay. I want to. He says, why you want to interfere into their life? You've already given the teachings, you've given them all the education, give them resources and let them have their fun. Now why you want to interfere into their life? No, actually they will not make good decisions. I am there required for giving them good choice and education, everything. He said, that's what Krishna wants to do in our lives. If he tells you take shelter of him, it is in our interest. It is not in his interest. Just like you asking your children, your intervention is in whose interest? Then he said, yes, Prabhuji, aapki baat mein to dam hai. I think it makes sense why Krishna should interfere and why we should pray to him. Right? That means people in general, they appear so religious, appear so much filled with rituals, but they do not really have the prominence of worship as any important thing, or Krishna as an important personality in their life. Their only main work is hard work to make prestige and money. Like we have been till now talking about a hedonistic philosophy which accepts that yes, there must be creator, but what has it got to do my life?
Who cares?
Who cares? But here I am talking about now a Vedic school. Somebody who has already come within the Vedic front, he will perform rituals, is religious, everything, so to say, in the society, but actually he's an atheist. According to the,
In what sense though? This I
because he's not actually valuing the Lord's involvement. He just thinks my karma is the main. My karma is the main thing, my ritual is the main thing, but who is the main program? My hard work, my family, my own self, my prestige, my name, this is all. So according to the Shastras, this Karma Mimamsa philosophy is an atheistic school of thought, which appears with a garb so nice that, sometimes, maybe they even have places of worship they create. But their faith in them may be very, very
less.
But Prabhu, someone would
superficial.
come to this philosophy if they're just picking this, verse without reading the whole text. But if you have background of the text, then you'll understand where this philosophy is coming from. Like for example, this Krishna is not blatantly saying that this is the Karma Mimamsa philosophy. It's Krishna is basically coming from a very different place when he's saying this.
There are two aspects. When Karma Mimamsa philosophy we say, it's when you understand, see, when you follow the Vedas, but you acknowledge the supremacy of the Lord.
But where did this word come from, Karma Mimamsa?
There are 6 systems of philosophy in the Vedic school, which are atheistic philosophies, which appear to be the Vedic spiritual ones.
No, but Krishna hasn't used this word, nor has Prabhupada used that word, right?
No, this I quoted from Bhagavatam.
But Bhagavatam mentions this word
Yes, yes.
pertaining to this text.
Yes. No, it refers to that particular aspect, right?
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that when we're talking about this text,
Here, the Vedas, people who are following the Vedas, right?
yeah, 9.20.
Yeah. So this is referring to people who are following the Vedic literatures only for like self-aggrandizement. Like, they're concerned to go to heaven.
No, like for example, this example that you gave of Govardhan,
Yes.
about the Indra sacrifice, this was the precursor to the Govardhan Leela, right?
Yes.
But what I mean to say is that people who haven't read or people who don't know the background, for them this is a Karma Mimamsa philosophy because they're just picking this one text and making their own philosophy on this text.
No. This philosophy exists.
Oh,
This philosophy exists in the market. And today don't you see this philosophy everywhere?
Everywhere.
Like you meet a religious person, good businessman. He has nothing to do with worship.
99% people don't know who Krishna is.
That's what I'm saying. He has nothing. For him, his ritualistic process that will bring him prestige and returns. It may be my Kul Devata, it may be Phalana, and that's all is my servitude. So that servitude is not the focus. The focus is my prestige, myself.
ये भी करना है.
ये भी करना है.
So basically they are worshipping the demigods or the Kuldevatas in order to
So
grow
see,
their
now there are people who worship demigods in a very religious way. So that's what I'm saying. The whole point is the understanding. You're doing a Vedic ritual, but the understanding is I am more important. My things are more important, and they are secondary. Now somebody is worshipping the demigods where he keeps the demigods at a higher strata of understanding. You understand? It's a subtle thing of keeping place. And there's a devotee who may be worshipping the demigods, understanding that they're Krishna's part and parcel. So all may be doing worship, but one could be doing an atheistic kind of a concept, one could be doing a theistic concept, and one could be doing a devotional concept.
Here the bhav works.
Everywhere the bhav works, actually.
The
Demigod should be करेगा तो भाव से work करेगा.
Yes, it works. How are you worshipping the demigod? Hare Krishna. It's going to work like that. But why I picked this Karma Mimamsa philosophy? Because this is the most prevalent. This is the most prevalent. Otherwise, why don't people become so easily God conscious, though they seem to be religious?
So
Right.
I think, like I somewhat agree to this. I feel the basic problem for people is that they do not understand what their karma is. Karma is also responsibility towards God. Like you need to serve the Lord, And I feel that if you do everything in conjunction to that, then I think it works.
We will explain. You're right what you're saying, but it needs to. They need education. See, if you educate people with the right principles, if they're sincere, they'll wake up.
Prabhu, can you like to conclude this example? Can you give Krishna's reply to his father?
No, Krishna did not change his philosophy
No,
at that
not
place.
just, but then he.
Krishna said, why should we, if at all we want to offer gratitude, we should offer gratitude to Govardhan. Because he's giving us fresh grass, he's giving us such nice waters, he's giving us everything. So we should rather worship, if you are worshipping Indra, because he's sending you rains, but Giriraj is giving us fresh rains. More retailer, वो तो wholesaler है, ये retailer है. So better worship him. And Krishna is Vakchaturta. Vakchaturta means,
Extraordinary.
sometimes some people are very expert in talking. They'll make their point whether you get convinced or not. It's just like idhar karke. And Nanda Baba said, okay, Krishna. Because for them, who is the center? Krishna is the center. If Krishna becomes happy doing it, they change the tradition only.
Is it not true that they did not accept it? That's why he did the whole Govardhan Leela.
He did not accept what?
Uh,
They accepted his proposal. They accepted Krishna's.
but then he taught Indra a lesson, no?
Yeah, that's later.
That's not part of this.
That's part of the Leela. But here he's talking to Nanda. He's not talking to Indra. See, he has to change Nanda Maharaj's mindset that from worshipping Indra you worship Govardhan. So he used the atheistic philosophy to say, really Indra doesn't deserve to, क्योंकि आप अपना कर्म करोगे तो इंद्र को तो रेन भेजना ही है. That's the point he said.
No, so then why is Giriraj Giriraj?
Why is Giriraj means?
Govardhan is not different from Krishna, right?
Yeah, but they don't know. They know Giriraj is the one who is actually supplying all the necessities. Later, Krishna expands and then takes the Anakut. That is there. But basically, Krishna, what he wanted to, teach Indra a lesson that he's become puffed up.
So, Prabhu, the entire conclusion of worshipping the Govardhan and what the Indra gave was to teach Indra a lesson that you have puffed up a lot, your ego and your pride has increased, so we won't be worshipping you.
To humble him.
Humble.
He tried to kill and he couldn't kill. And he understood this is no other person than Krishna. See what happens, Krishna is a very merciful master. वो नौकरी से निकालते नहीं. वो सेवक को सेवा के लायक बना देते. This is Krishna's speciality. He never gives up his devotees. Even if the devotee is gone a little nuts. Compared to all the Leelas, I think we spoke about this. Like when Ravana was to be killed by Ram, Lord Shiva did not come to rescue him. Lord Shiva said, Parvati, what can I do? He has foolishly acted. Right? He did not participate. But with Krishna, it is not so. If somebody is a devotee of Krishna, and if someone is serving Krishna, and Indra is serving on behalf of Krishna, so my man, my devotee has become puffed up. It is my seva to
Bring him back.
teach him a lesson and make him nicely humbled. So that again he will do nice seva. So the Lord loves his devotees so much that the purpose of chastisement is to make them better. And again restore them in their position.
Damodar Leela. Meals.
Nala Kuber and
Nala
Mani
Kuber.
Griva. So the Lord, quality is anybody who becomes a devotee, even if he is badly shaped, the Lord will
Shape him.
shape him up. That's Lord's kindness. Whoever we may be, he will bring us to the right track. Because we are taking shelter of Krishna and depending on him.
Approximately 90 to 95% of the people in this universe, they are following the Karma Mimamsa philosophy.
You googled it or what?
No,
Okay.
I'm writing.
Okay, yes. Yes, a good amount of people. See, the point that I'm trying to say is a good amount of people has this philosophy in the mind. Now, some may be more, some may be less, and some may be traces. So we are not making like, we're saying this is a philosophy that needs to be counteracted. We're not saying counteract the people, and all of us also may have some traces. It's not that we have become a devotee, so we become completely cleaned of all our conceptions, right? Many a times why we have inertia is because our conceptions are not cleared. Why are we not able to apply what we learn? Because there are some inertias. So when you study the Shastras, it also clears up all the misconceived conceptions, right? So in this particular chapter, Krishna is speaking about all these misconceptions. Why? Because those defects keep us from practicing pure devotion. Make sense? These defects keep us from practicing pure devotion. Just like the other day we were talking. Because here Krishna, he says, I am the ritual, I am the sacrifice, I am the offering, I am the healing herb, and I am the chant. When you do a yajna, Krishna says, I am the ritual. So the very rituals you do, he said, I am that. Then the Vedic sacrifice, he is the yajna purush who takes the ahuti. Then he says, the offerings you do, he said, I am the source of that. Then the chant, I am that. I am the butter, I am the fire, and I am the offering. So literally, all the paraphernalia you deal with all belongs to Krishna. Right? The example that we have always quoted, I will quote it again because it is relevant. Like why we should. This is 16. 16. इसका मतलब ये है, when you're doing a particular activity, a ritual, Krishna is the source of all the raw material from A to Z. Make sense? So Prabhupada gives this example, which we have quoted several times. Imagine you take teak wood, black teak, and you go to a carpenter and tell him to make a table. He says, 2 weeks I will do it, sir. And he makes in 2 weeks, then you send someone, go bring the table. So the carpenter says, no sir, it is mine. Sir, it is mine. So what would you do?
Give a slap.
Yes, pro is pro. He says, no discussion also. He says, it's very clear, it belongs to me, you rascal. How dare you say it's yours? Right? So others are feeling, and that's the emotion. You're a scrap, what are you talking? But now, all of us are also taking raw materials from Krishna. All our industries, all our businesses, where is the raw material coming from? Nature means Krishna's nature, no? Right? So all raw materials are coming from who? Krishna. So just like we gave black teak to the carpenter, all the raw material we are using of Krishna, and now we process that raw material and make it into some product. And then what do we say?
It's
mine.
It's mine. So then what are we supposed to get?
Slap.
A slap. Right? Everybody is passing on saying, I am the owner of this company, I am the owner of this and this. If the carpenter is right in saying that this is my table, then you are right. That this whole industry belongs to me. Prabhupada was met by an industrialist. Prabhupada said, what are you doing? He said, I'm a glass industry, right? And Prabhupada said, you're a thief. Swamiji, I'm a thief. He said, where does glass come from? He said, it comes from sand. He said, where does sand come from? From the ocean bed. Who does it belong to? The raw material is Krishna's. So you are processing the raw material. So who should it belong to? जिसका raw material है, उसका वो product है. Yes or no? The Prabhupada said you are a thief.
But you will say, I paid for it. I paid for the sand.
Huh?
He will say, I have paid for the sand.
Paid for the sand who?
Yeah, the one who has got the sand from the sea. You want to go with the flow. प्रभु जी जो बोलते हैं, प्रभु से पूछते हैं, तो प्रभु आपने बोलेंगे आप फैक्ट्री चला रहे हैं, आप लीफ परचेज,
हाँ, लीफ कहाँ से आया?
लीफ से चाय बना रहे हैं,
Yes.
चाय बेचते हैं, आप चाय बोलते हैं मेरी चाय तो पत्ता तो भगवान का, रोटी
Yes,
तो भगवान
ये
का
तो भगवान सही बात है.
but you'll say आपको लीफ लगती है, तो I'll say कि प्रभु I have paid for the leaf, I'm processing the
But
leaf.
who are you paying the leaf for? Who are you paying to?
The farmers.
Huh?
I'm paying to the farmers.
You're paying for their hard work. You're paying for their hard work. You're not paying for the leaf.
They are selling and I'm paying them. And I'm buying.
Whose land is that?
No, it's not my land. So
Okay.
the land belongs to the farmer.
Huh, so if imagine you take from a thief.
No, it's not a thief. He's a authorized, bona fide
That's what I'm saying now.
landlord, and he's
वो
producing the leaf
वो
and
चोरी
he's
कर
selling the leaf.
सुनिए, वो चोरी करके किसी की चोरी करके वो दौड़ा. आप उस चोर से
हम चोर से नहीं लेते हैं, हम तो authorized landlord से लेते हैं.
But no. So that landlord is a thief or not?
No.
Because that is Krishna's property.
The landlord is himself a farmer. The government gives him ration, medical.
But who does that land belong to? Who does the land belong to?
He's a PAN card holder.
Who does the land belong to? Land किसका है? नहीं, land किसका है? Land किसका है?
कोरोना में क्या हुआ था? सब
नहीं, anyway, who does the land belong to? No, but
But technically it belongs to Krishna.
land belongs to whom? The farmer or Krishna? Then, see, just because you go to someone's property. नहीं रुकिए ना, आप किसी के बंगले में चले जाओ, बंगले में जाके कहो ये बेडरूम मेरा, अरे यार तू मेरा मित्र है, तू ड्राइंग रूम ले ले, राइट? तो जैसे ही मालिक आएगा और फिर आप कहते हैं अब ड्राइंग रूम मेरा है, बेडरूम मेरा है, ड्राइंग रूम मेरा है, मेरे गांव वाले को मैं रेंट पे दे देता हूँ उसको, राइट? और मानिए मालिक आएगा, ठीक है, तो वो कहेगा कि मैं तो रेंट पे कर रहा हूँ. प्रॉपर्टी मेरी, somebody else lends the property and this thing, वो तो immediately बेदखल कर देगा उसको, right?
No, but bro, I think
Someone selling Taj Mahal.
They sold it to foreigners.
No, wait a minute, don't change the topic.
But Prabhu, I feel that the right answer to this thing, like basically what Amit Prabhu is saying is about the concept of money, right?
The point is everything belongs to Krishna.
Like Prabhuji, I think you
Claiming
said once-
proprietorship over land, resources, energy, it is only a wrong claim.
No, but what I feel
And that is why, since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be used for Krishna's service. Like the concept why everything should be used for Krishna's service, it's not your big heart that I do for Krishna. If you don't do for Krishna, you need a slap. What Ravana got? Ravana got burnt to ashes. Why did Ravan get burnt? Because he tried to enjoy Sita, who is Krishna's property. When you try to enjoy other people's property, you will be trialed. And that is why everybody in this world is trialed. Don't think people are trialed just for no reason. This is the Karma Mimamsa philosophy. You claim proprietorship for something that's not yours. And you think you can be peaceful. You cannot be peaceful by claiming proprietorship of someone else's property. At some time or the other, you will be thrashed.
So what about people who have lot of ups and downs in their life? Like for example, Donald Trump. He got bankrupted twice. Now he's still the president. So what about like obviously he's done, I don't know what in his past, but like what about him? Like how is he treated?
The point is simple, and that how you use your opportunity will be your trajectory.
Bro, actually, since we are having this discussion, I remembered a small thing I learned few weeks ago. There was a very small story that I heard about Sanatan Goswami and the touchstone.
Yes.
Right. So I think this whole concept of money that has come in, especially I think that the onset of Kali Yuga is where the whole money came in, because through that story of Sanatan Goswami, the touchstone is very well established that material exchange in that yuga, in the onset of Kali Yuga, was nothing, because Sanatan Goswami very categorically explains that, and that's what the Brahmana learned, that if Sanatan Goswami can throw the touchstone, and he must be possessing something greater,
higher,
something higher than the touchstone, which is
holy name.
So I basically thought that this whole concept of money is basically in place just to provide you comfort to do bhakti.
That's all right. See, the functionality of what we are doing is not the problem. Like, how we are conducting ourselves, doing our work, handling our family, that's not the problem. The problem is the consciousness. What needs a change is not the positions. Many times we always want to make a change in the positions. But changing positions and putting a superficial show will not change the actual thing. You have to change people's consciousness. Just like a thief, if you just put him in tight custody, then he's just planning when I can run away and again do the nonsense. वो बोलता है फिर अगले बार वो बोलता है यार इधर चोरी नहीं करना, इधर का पुलिस बहुत टाइट है, पकड़ लेगा. चोरी करना है वहां जाके करो, वहां लोग पकड़ता नहीं. तो नियत नहीं बदली ना, वो गया ऊपर नीचे पर नियत नहीं बदली. So the whole concept is to understand the niyat and change it. And obviously Krishna is speaking so hard in the Gita in the 9th chapter because he wants to offer pure devotion. There is no, like here, why he is speaking hard is because he wants to offer pure devotion, and these things come as an obstacle for pure devotion.
Only once you put it well, like we got a good prasadam. So we will only thank the person in house who is serving us a prasadam and make a amazing tasteful prasadam. But you told us to them, hey Krishna, through him I got a good prasadam. Because ultimate
So the main perspective, what I'm trying to make, like what Krishna is speaking here, Krishna is the process, Krishna is the raw material, Krishna is the energy to create the process, and Krishna is the result. That is what Krishna is telling here.
Krishna is the final enjoyer.
He is the enjoyer for sure, But what Krishna is telling here, from the raw material to the whole thing also, it's just not the raw material. You having the intelligence, you having the strength, you having the strategy, all that also Krishna says, I am the energy, I am the strength. So, okay, that raw material, I got it from him. Then where did you get your strength from? Where did you get your intelligence from? Where did you get the science? If the laws did not work the way they work, how can you make your product? You see, as telecommunication is dependent on ionosphere. Imagine the ionosphere was not there. Will internet work? So the science of reflection, science of satellites, if it did not, we didn't create, we are harnessing the quality of the raw materials or the quality of the process. You understand? So beginning from the raw material to the process, to the phenomenon, to the laws, to the intelligence, to the strength, Krishna says, I am all that. At every level, you see Krishna is the one who is providing.
Prabhu, even the inherent qualities that we possess.
Yes. Today, you will see that if you're a businessman, like the Vaishyas, they're blessed to know how to make money. Right? The other community, they don't have that capability of making profits. They may have capability of doing something else. But you see, the child of a businessman or the daughter or the son, they naturally know how finances work. Like for me, I really would not know so much. right? I may know some other principle. So how is this capability of doing business coming? Make sense? वो तो कहता है यार वो तो खून में है.
Very simple, Prabhuji. The Tandulkar, it has been said, is a god. One can become so much and everything means.
So in that sense, the talent is God given. Talent is God. So the point is simple. The point that we are trying to say, like the Karma Mimamsa philosophy is like, I just do my work and I get my fruits and I enjoy the fruits and I am the owner of the fruits. I don't have anything to do with the object of the worship and everything. So the counteraction to that is the first principle that all Krishna is saying here, that all the process, phenomenon, raw material, everything is coming from me. All the talents, as Krishna Prabhu said, they're coming from Krishna. You see, one person has one quality and the other person has another quality, and by which they are able to do their work very diligently. Now, how did that phenomenon and how did those qualities come in us? We did not grow them. It has come inherently. Right? So ultimately you will find Krishna is the source of all the aspects through which we are able to function. So if all these things are given to us by Krishna, who does everything belong to them? Who is the owner?
So that is what we should do.
Krishna is the owner. And then all of us, Krishna is allowing us to take care of he's giving us quota. Okay, you can handle this, you can handle this, you can handle this. So then you handle it on behalf of Krishna. So he's given you a family, he's given you a business, he's given you industry. And if it is Krishna's, how should you handle your business? As Krishna would want. Those should be the principles. How should you handle your family? As Krishna wants. But now, do we make that as a program when we run our families, run our industries? No, it's my wealth. It's my family. I will decide how they will live. I will decide. I will live for enjoyment. My family will live for enjoyment, for prestige. That's all. If it is Krishna's property, if it is Krishna's family, everyone has to be a devotee. Your major hard work will be to help everyone become grateful to Krishna. That will be the real work. Because you are able to handle everything because you are acknowledging Krishna. So they will also be able to handle things if they are able to understand it is Krishna's. Right? When a person has that understanding that I have been rewarded, then you do it in a very responsible way. मेरे ऊपर वो responsibility है, मैं behalf में कर रहा हूँ. अगर मैं सोचूं ये मेरा है, तो फिर मैं जो करूं मेरी मर्जी ना. कौन है मेरे को रोकने वाला? मेरे को क्या भगवान से लेना देना है, किसी से लेना देना है? तो वही तो आज का सबका कॉन्शियसनेस है. उसको भगवान की पड़ी नहीं है. मेरे पास पैसा है, मेरे पास ये है, मेरे पास वो है. काहे यार मेरे को चाहिए भगवान? And why I need to make my family Krishna conscious? Why I need to do? Because it's all mine. Na? I need God only when there are punctures in my life. मैकेनिक के पास कब जाना है? पंचर हो गया. अरे भगवान गाड़ी नहीं चल रही तो पंचर फिट करो ना. तो पंचर फिट करने का ये दक्षिणा लो. खत्म. फिर अपने गाड़ी चलाएंगे. जैसे लाइफ फिर सेट हो गया स्मूथ, फिर भगवान भूल गए. फिर पंचर हो गया. भगवान कहाँ हो? As and when. So this is a very deeply ingrained concept of Karma Mimamsa, where a person has to accept and understand.
Prabhu, one thing which I wanted to ask is Prema Mimamsa philosophy is a stumbling block in pure devotion. Then why did Krishna advise his father Nanda to do the same?
He used it as a logic. He didn't want to preach it. See, if you take from the whole spectrum of teaching, that's just like one minute pastime of a dealing. But then the acharyas give us the import. That's why when you read a script, you should also need the help of devotees. You know, because if somebody just goes to that script and says, "Arey, Krishna is speaking Karma Mimamsa philosophy," तो भाई ये तो बोनाफाइड हो गया. But then एक श्लोक के बाद आचार्यगण कहते हैं, Krishna spoke this atheistic philosophy to convince Nanda. So many times in scriptures, like when people say, na, they pull out some texts which are contextual and use it to say, अरे शास्त्र देखो यही बोल रहा है. जैसे कर्मण्यवाधिकारस्ते, कर्म ही पूजा है. The other day when we were speaking at Naveen Prabhu's place, we were speaking about what does it mean by karmanyavadhikaraste. We were speaking on this aspect.
You should know your karma.
Huh?
Like your spiritual karma and your
Yeah,
like
it has a lot
your
more
responsibility
aspects of.
has different roles that you perform, like as
Yes,
a son,
yes.
as a father, as a husband, etc., as a brother. as
You have
your
to act on
profession.
behalf of Krishna. You have to do your duty as Krishna has prescribed you on that role. So you're doing it on behalf. So we are holding, all of us are holding Krishna's vibhutis. Like I am able to speak, I am able to think. Can I say this is my intelligence? Like, you know, so many teachers have taught me for years. And now when I speak and I have some influence, oh, this is all mine. All these people, you know, how people are. At any point of time, that tendency can come in. Right? You want to become exclusive and what do you call exclusively famous. And you don't want any attestation of anyone to attribute to your success. That's a tendency. That's a tendency. If we don't care for Krishna's attestation, how would we care for any other person's attestation? And it's a fact. Today we are not grateful to Krishna, people will not be grateful to us. We think we have done so good, so much, people should be grateful to us. But they don't see gratitude in us. Why will they have gratitude in us? Make sense? Like they don't see we are grateful. So then the next in line people also will be same. Because they will catch. No? Today they see the person who's leading, he's grateful, he's acknowledging ownership. He's so great, but he understands Krishna's position. So they know that greatness comes by humility and gratitude. So then the next in line will also be like that. People only catch each other's character. Whatever character leadership shows, the whole masses will catch. And today, because all the leadership is not God conscious, in general, everybody thinks it's a license to be not God conscious. Right? You don't feel bad if you're not God conscious. Do you feel? You don't feel. But in a leadership of devotion, you will feel bad if you're not God conscious. Because that prominence will be to that quality. So like that, what makes civilizations is the philosophy that is driving it.
Everything is philosophy.
Yes, it's basically the philosophy. That's why we are talking philosophy. Because when you change the script, everything else can change. When you don't change the script, nothing can change externally. Goody goody, nothing changes. Right? So Krishna is speaking this. I am just repeating Vedavada Rata concept. Because after that, what people say, I will work hard, then I will go to Swarg. And in Swarg, I will enjoy with Apsaras, I will be with Gandharvas and this and that, and I'll drink Soma juice, and I'll have heavenly pleasure. And how do you know people want to go to heaven? Everyone in India wants to go to America and other places. Everybody wants to transport themselves into a more heavenly kind of enjoyment. Yes? So that's ingrained in all of us, that heavenly desires. So if they open an exotic place in heaven, we will start going there also. And maybe that was the reason why they wanted to go to heaven. But sorry that they went to heaven and say they brought rocks. Prabhupada said heaven is a heavenly planet. Moon is a heavenly planet. Ye Swarg hai, moon. It is very, 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 very special place. But they don't have access. Basically, you need access. Punya का access होता है फिर entry होता है. जैसे कि
He clearly was mine. जो दूर वाली बात बताई, I didn't get it.
I'm saying everyone wants to go for a heavenly life, right? Every person wants to go to a better place and have experience. So that is the heavenly tendency. Moon is a heaven. Moon is heaven. But people went to heaven, moon, and they got rocks, and they say there's no life there. There is no romantic stuff there. But it's false. Shastra says moon is a heaven. It has very, very beautiful aspects, right? But because there is no access,
Due to materialism, they could not see that.
you need punya. You just cannot go to a place, just like you can go to Quest Mall, but if you don't have enough bucks, they may not let you inside. So you reached Quest Mall, so you reached heaven, for questing for what is the place, but they didn't give you access because पुण्य पेइंग प्राइस नहीं है. तो लोग इतना वैदिक सैक्रिफाइस करते हैं ताकि पुण्य बटोरें. और पुण्य क्यों बटोरना चाहते हैं? भगवान की भक्ति करने के लिए नहीं, हेवन जाके मजे करेंगे. Yes, right. So then they wanted to say that. So Krishna says that that's not appropriate. This kind of working is not appropriate, right? Because you will come down. Shine punye मर्त्य लोकम विश्वंति. जैसे ही पुण्य खत्म होगा क्या होगा? वापस आ जाएंगे. जैसे ही पैसा खत्म क्या होगा? मॉल से निकाल देंगे. मतलब क्या घूम रहे हो? पॉकेट खत्म, जाओ बाहर. And people will ask you to leave. Same thing. That's why when people go to heaven, they become very nervous when their time is coming. So they don't die in heaven. They don't have that kind of old age symptoms. At the time of death, a person is nervous. Why? Because samay khatam and you'll be kicked down. So they become so nervous that the body melts and falls as rains. So during rains, a lot of people come down from heavens. So paisa khatam, punya khatam, right? So for people who have enjoyed bigger prestige, to lose it is very painful. For those who didn't enjoy it, it's not painful. Why? Because they didn't have it. But for those who have so much, they're so pained. Right? So then if they become so pained, and again they start doing karma and doing dharma, doing yajna, फिर हम heaven जाएंगे. ऊपर गया नीचे आया, ऊपर गया नीचे आया, ऊपर गया नीचे आया. Krishna says, how long? Right? So that's why Krishna is saying that is foolish intelligence, is alpamedasa. It is improper worship. Right? So Krishna is speaking about, I didn't speak of the demigods, I spoke about the Karma Mimamsa philosophy, but it's one of the main obstacles. The main obstacle for pure devotion. Right? We give Krishna a consolation prize. And we console Krishna that no problem, I worship you. But Krishna is the prominent person who is the owner, who is the proprietor, the controller, who is the enjoyer. Why Krishna should enjoy? Because he's the boss. Simple. He's the boss, so he should enjoy. Just like in your family, in your home, you have so many employees. But who should enjoy? You. Right? You should enjoy, right? Because you're the owner. But imagine they all party, make 18-course meal, and they don't invite you for calling. They all decide tomorrow is my birthday. We're celebrating 18-course meal. और आपको हम भोग चढ़ा देते थोड़ा थोड़ा. वो ठंडा हो गया भाई. बोले क्या है? तो आप ओनर है ना, थोड़ा आपको चढ़ा दिया, बाकी हम देख लेंगे. क्या चल रहा है भाई? दुकान मेरी, हलवा मेरा, लड्डू मेरा. Right? So this is the whole conception. We would not like them to do something like that. You say, hey, I'm the owner. How dare you cook anything without telling me the menu? But very interesting, very nice. Who enjoys more, the master or the servant? Huh?
Always master.
Always servant. Master has to work hard to make money, to make the house, to build the house, to make the amenities. Servant क्या करना है? मास्टर को खुश करो, जो बचा तो उसका ही है.
ड्राइवर गाड़ी को ज्यादा एंजॉय टू द ड्राइवर.
नहीं, अभी जैसे माने किसी ने पकवान बनाया, कितना खाएगा मास्टर? और बाकी सब लोग तो कैलोरी का सोच सोच के खाता है, थोड़ा ना सर्वेंट कैलोरी सोचता है. दे पीसफुली ईट. उसको कितना मेहनत करना पड़ा उसको लाने के लिए, कितना मेहनत करना पड़ा बताइए. सारी मेहनत तो खटने वाला तो ओनर है. Servant enjoys more than master. Devotees enjoy more than Krishna. Whoever becomes the master enjoys less. Right? So if you become a servant, which is your position, you enjoy more. But all the headache goes to Krishna, ना? सारा headache हम लेते हैं, कहाँ enjoy कर पाते हैं? BP बढ़ जाता है. Right? Hare Krishna. Take prasad. Right? So Krishna wanting us to be in pure devotion is because he wants to give us more happiness. Because you see, the moment you acknowledge Krishna is the boss, how much headache you will have? You only have one headache. No, you have one headache. To do what your boss wants you to do. You have to diligently do what the boss wants you to do. That's all. वो करने के बाद प्रॉफिट हुआ, लॉस हुआ, किसका? बॉस का. एम्प्लॉय को कहाँ टेंशन लेना है? He'll get the paycheck, right? Right? लॉस प्रॉफिट हुआ, उसको पेचेक मिल गया ना. उसका कोई लॉस होता है क्या? कुछ नहीं होता. Life can become so simple. So when you understand Krishna is in charge and you're doing it on behalf, and very interesting, I'll tell you. I'll conclude with a sutra by which you can double your money in no time. Double your money in no time. Or even go 10 times your money in no time. Here is the offer for all the young budding businessmen and the most veteran people sitting here. How to double your money. Huh?
You want less, 10 times.
Okay, let's make it 10 times. Okay, we get back to our deal. It's a 10-time deal. How to make it. I've seen on YouTube sometimes, wherever they help you make money, they get most viewed. I don't know whether they make money, but the one who makes the video makes money. Right? But I'm going to tell you something which really makes money. Immediately it will make you money. Right? 10 times. He said, when you understand that Krishna has given me the estate in my hands, and if you utilize properly how Krishna would want you to use it by principles, the more you can handle properly what Krishna has given, Krishna will give you 10 times more to handle.
Only that intelligence also comes from him.
Krishna is giving us instructions to the Gita. So if someone you give 100 rupees and they use 100 rupees properly, you give them charge for 1,000 rupees. If they use 1,000 rupees properly, you give them charge for 10,000 rupees. Sometimes you have an employee, you make him a small office pan, but when you see him trustworthy with what you have given, you develop more trust in him and give him more prestige, more position, and give him more sovereignty. So if you want to grow in wealth, grow in sovereignty, the person you need to please in the line is Krishna. Because he is Lakshmipati. His wealth is static. Devatas are also not having static wealth. Sometimes demons come, Hiranyakashipu comes, Indra has to run away. Indra wealth zero. But you never hear the Lord has to run away with the, fear of anyone. So if what Krishna has given you today, whatever intelligence he has given you, whatever resources he has given you, if you use them properly as Krishna would want you to, then Krishna will give you 10 times of that to handle.
Only this you can say that conscious.
But then it's just like, your employee, you are giving him the raw material, you are giving him the charge, you give him the car, you give him the pen, you give him the paper, you give him the resource. But he uses his diligence to do it properly to win your trust. है सब आपने दिया, पर जब उस सबका प्रयोग वो करता है आपको जीतने के लिए,
But that intelligence also we make him understand. Na? You have to do
still he
this
has a
and this,
choice
this.
whether he will do it for you or do it for himself.
And that is different.
That is the discerning point.
Only
Whether
that
you
is the
do it
distinction.
for enjoyment, do it for service. That is the game changer. So when what you have, whatever wealth you have, if you use it properly, Krishna will give you more. Why? Because Krishna wants his devotees to handle the estates. Because then there will be dharma. Why Krishna wanted Yudhishthira to rule and not Duryodhana to rule? Because he will spread dharma. Krishna always wants to put his devotees to hold properties. And it is not today's principle. It's a principle of all times. भगवान अपने भक्तों को सत्ता देना चाहते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि उनकी सत्ता में सबका भला होगा. और क्योंकि भगवान सबका भला चाहते हैं. So how do you increase your wealth? Use your wealth understanding it belongs to Krishna. And Krishna has given me that wealth and intelligence. Now if I use it diligently, how Krishna would want me to use it. Right? Properly. Then you'll multiply your wealth. It will happen. And people who do not have this principle, even by dint, people who are more indulgent than doing it on behalf, वो बहुत जल्दी उड़ाएगा. और तब वेल्थ जिसको कदर नहीं है वो एनीवे उसको यूज ठीक से कर नहीं पाएगा.
In one of the class I've come to know about this. In this episode only, like आपके जो भी workers होते हैं उनको अगर आप उनका जो portion होता है वो अगर आप नहीं देते हो, उसमें अगर आप like you cheat, then it's a simple activity.
If you don't give them duly what they're supposed to. Yeah. No, because actually the Lord gives you wealth just not for yourself. The Lord gives you wealth for you, for your family, for your relatives, for helping, for emergency, for giving service to the Lord. He gives you a compounded wealth. And then there are principles in the Shastra how you should do it. But a person who has that I-ness will never listen to the Shastra only so diligently. Right? जिसको भी आप on behalf दे रहे हो, वो on behalf वाला अच्छी तरह पढ़ेगा क्या चाहता है वो. और जिसको लगता नहीं वो behalf में hold कर रहा है, वो कभी भी वो text को follow नहीं करेगा. वो text को follow भी करेगा तो फिर वो अहंकार से करेगा, humility से नहीं करेगा. Make sense? Even if you do something, you do it with pride, arrogance. You don't do it with humility. But if you know it is Krishna's, and when you're using what is Krishna's, actually, it's very interesting that you immediately feel humble. The moment you use a resource which belongs to someone, just like, it's a gross example, but I still like to make it a point. Yeah, it's time, but just make one concluding example. Just like, Naveen Prabhu helped the temple with a vehicle, right? So now, whenever we ride that vehicle and bring it to Naveen Prabhu's place, a sense of humility comes. No, it belongs to them, they gave it to me. And maybe I don't drive it to Naveen Prabhu's place, I'm moving around. A false sense may come, I'm the owner of this vehicle. But in front of him, I won't feel so. I'll feel small because he is the owner. Similarly, if you acknowledge it as Krishna's, you can never feel puffed up. Because you're away from the owner, you don't feel that humility. Make sense? This example makes me feel so, that's why I made a point. That's why people go away from God. They don't feel they become enjoyers. You're with Krishna, you'll feel shy because it's belonging to Him and feel to be responsible. So the more you accept Krishna's ownership, you naturally become humble. You naturally become grateful. You naturally become devotee. You don't have a reason not to serve. So understanding Krishna's position can naturally make you a devotee. But if you don't understand Krishna's position, it's like, it's good to be a devotee. But even if I'm not a devotee, that's fine. But understanding the science, you don't have a choice. He's the boss, by the way. We should be Krishna conscious. Okay? So the more you acknowledge Krishna to be the source of everything, naturally you're protected actually. You feel always secure and you can be very responsible. You have no fear in life. देखिए आप कृष्ण का काम कर रहे हो, संभालना किसका काम? मेरी सत्ता है, संभालना किसका काम? I'm alone. But when I collaborate with Krishna, Daiva comes into picture. Daiva comes into picture. The big boss comes into picture. Just like Hiranyakashipu, I am the Lord. Prahlad, I have a Lord. What happened to Hiranyakashipu? And Prahlad, no resources, heavy confidence. Right? And the Malik came. Ananyaschintayanto mam yedana pradipasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogam shemam vahamyaham. I personally come to protect my devotee. That is a verse later. A person who understands this and practices, he has Krishna's presence always in his life. So when Krishna is with him, what is his fear? So our process of bhakti is to feel Krishna's presence and involve Krishna in our lives. It's a very real science. It's just not a conceptual science. Why are devotees so confident? Because they have Krishna. They're just not confident for no reason. Like that. That's it. So Prabhupada is making us very confident by making us Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.